For almost 20 years, Movember, the leading global men's charity, has been giving men a reason to grow a mustache. So this November, Movember is looking for support and help to raise awareness and funds for men's health in the U.S. and all around the world by taking on mental health and suicide prevention and prostate cancer. Joining us today with more is U.S. Executive Director Mark Hedstrom. To talk a little bit about Movember, Mark, and why it was started and how it's just really kind of changed the face of men's lives.
Thanks for having me on. So Movember started back in 2003 in Melbourne, Australia, and we operated in 20 countries around the world as of this year. And we've really started out with a very simple concept of getting men to grow a mustache and have a conversation about what was happening in their lives. And what we found is that we took a very fun, engaging campaign around growing a mustache to actually having that more serious conversation about what's happening with men from both a physical and mental health perspective. And that's allowed us to engage in that conversation and connect men to some of the challenges they may face. And if they have one of those challenges, and we focus on mental health and suicide prevention, we focus on prostate cancer and testicular cancer, raising their awareness and then encouraging them to take action for their own health is what Movember is all about.
And for men that are looking to participate in this, how do you recommend they engage that friend or start that conversation? Maybe somebody's struggling with their treatment from cancer or mental health issues. How do you begin that discussion?
Yeah, and it's not just men that we should have this conversation with. It's the women in our lives that care about us to have that conversation with us. And I think what we found, whether it's cancer or in our world, mental health and suicide prevention, it's how do we get men to open up? So a lot of it is around raising awareness of some of the issues we face. And I'll give you an example. On average in the U.S., men die 6 years younger than women, often for preventable diseases. And one of our cause areas, prostate cancer, 1 in 8 men in the U.S. will be diagnosed with that disease. The good news is a lot of those men survive and live with the disease beyond treatment. But we lose 28,000 men to that disease every single year in the U.S. And so how do we engage in that first conversation around raising the awareness? But then how do we have that conversation and allow men or give men the opportunity to speak up about what they might be facing and encouraging them to take action as a result of that? So that's both men and women. And how do we open up that conversation? How do we engage men to ultimately talk about what might be happening with them and then encouraging them to take action for their own health? And
finally, how can our viewers find out some more information about Movember?
You can go right over to Movember.com, and both men and women have been engaged in Movember for the 19 years. We've had over 6 million participants globally. You can grow a mustache for the month of Movember. You can move for the 30 days of Movember, and that's a physical activity for those 30 days with men and women in your lives. And you can also host events with men and women in your lives and provide that opportunity to reconnect with those that you care about in your life and have a conversation about men's health, but also raise some funds for men's health both here in the U.S. and globally.
All right, Mark, thank you so much.
Thank you.